Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. I did see XRP moving up a little bit, so just wanted to make a quick video update before I get into additional things. Essentially, let me get rid of this fib because it's really not following. So I mean, basically, basic trend lines, you know, support and resistance, no surprise. If we can kind of break through here, the 17-cent range, be ready to see 20 cents, 20.5 cents again. If we are following the 2017 fractal, now keep in mind, nothing is guaranteed, but if we do follow the fractal, we could expect to be at 20 cents and do a quick pop up to 30 cents, and then kind of follow on and hopefully, in the next few months, approach all-time high. Now, with the economy at this point, we have no idea. It could go, you know, orders of magnitudes higher as well. For me, I actually had buys ready back down at like, you know, 11 cents here, and I even had some down at like 5.5 cents and 7.5 cents just in case. But right now I am bullish. It can turn quickly. We know people are asking why, for example, the Dow Jones is up. Well, it's a simple answer. The system in place today requires debt in perpetuity, and it has to feed the beast. So the Fed is printing on a daily basis. So when you see these, you know, ups and downs, don't be surprised. Right now, we are barely holding support, so things are exciting ahead again. I know Greg Manarino as well was just saying, you know, where's the bottom? He said the Fed did begin quantitative easing 1, and this was when the Dow was 6,000. Therefore, the bottom was lower than 6,000, so no one really knows where the true bottom is. It's literally a black hole. So this U.S. economy today, it began life support at the Dow with 6,000 points. We are again at full life support. So where's the true bottom? And people believe that it may even be lower than 6K. I believe there's going to be some type of, you know, economic stimulus or intervention well before that point. But we will see. So again, I hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Right here, Awake here sharing this. So interesting to see this. So let's just take a look at Steam and Dash. So XRP following that same fractal. Again, we are right here. We just broke out on the 4-hour. We can kind of take a look at the daily here. I literally am just highlighting support and resistance. Doesn't take a genius. I'm not, you know, any master with trading by any means, but I do know the basics and fundamentals, and I do also trade. You know, I've made money, lost money, just like anybody. Try to stay modest about that. I'll probably tell some funny, awesome stories in the future, but right now, just don't want to be a target. So right here, guys, 16 cents. We'll see what happens if we can break that 17-cent range and burst on up right around 20 cents. And then Awake showing this graph. So XRP USD and then Steam, that crypto in USD, following suit. Now, people often say, oh, news influences price. I beg to differ. I think that this algorithm governs all. If you guys understand anything with the metals markets, the stock markets, they're all fake. It is all fairy dust, a fugazi, just like they say in Wolf of Wall Street. They are all arbitrary numbers right now under massive suppression. All right, and that is just my belief. So, of course, with Steam, we can see it comes up. Again, sideways, see these big wicks also, just kind of, you know, stopping out anybody. And then up again. So we will see. I know Steam was up like 100% in like 2 days. We'll see if XRP follows suit. Some of the cryptos in front of XRP, like Bitcoin, are also, you know, moving up as well. All right, let's keep going. So right here at XRP_owl, this is King Solomon. Must follow if you are in the XRP community. I literally only have Twitter to keep up with XRP news and information. Great threads. You can, you know, have pictures, links, sources, and also converse. It's kind of just like, you know, a Reddit page where you can kind of go back and forth, or XRP chat back in the day. So right here, does anyone else find it odd that the past 2 years were the largest in history for digitization efforts, mergers and acquisitions, major FI partnerships, financial institutions, government, fintech, financial technology initiatives, etc.? And again, I am just kind of breaking down the acronyms for any newcomers because we are having more new people look at hedging their bet and getting out of the stock market than ever before. They're realizing that banks don't even want to touch cash because they're pushing the narrative that they're, you know, dirty and, you know, infectious. There's greater things at play here, guys. So again, the perfect script, just thinking out loud. Well said. And again, it's followed by the entire global economy tanking. I have my own thoughts, but we will see what happens. I am actually documenting in private my whole thoughts throughout this process, and afterwards I'll probably release it as well. All right, next up. So Paul just sharing this, and keep this in mind. This is right on Google. It's so funny. I asked, you know, where he got this exact figure, and he said Google is pretty comical. But anyways, from Bitcoin, guys, right here, there are 17,971 Bitcoin millionaires, or addresses at least, containing more than $1 million worth of Bitcoin. This was as of August 2019. All right. Now, we also know the XRP community is, I guess you could estimate anywhere from 10,000, 50,000, doesn't really matter. If you guys understand the tech, a lot of people have broken through this and they kind of say, okay, well, if there were a price set or XRP went up slowly but surely and retail investors were paid out at some fraction if they sold, they show that banks would receive a return on their investment after this initial kind of upgrade or, economic reset within anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, depending on the numbers that you want to crunch. Michael Zischek has gone over this various times. I'll admit that mathematically, the dude is much smarter than I am. All right, so again, anything's possible. Again, Bitcoin utility, I don't think it was just created. I think that the powers that be, whatever you believe, kind of allow it to be there because it fits their narrative. But I digress. That doesn't matter. Our beliefs can differ, and as long as we respect each other's differences, I don't care. I'm not going to be name calling here. All right, right here. I'm going to keep going. So right here, XRP_Crow. So XRP, the holy grail. I want you guys to listen to this very well, and then I want to continue about some additional thoughts and what we can expect in the future.
No, so as I said, the X-Current product, the way it's implemented today, uses fiat currencies. So
XCurrent, previous X series, part of a Ripple. And keep in mind, I know you guys saw that Mark Zuckerberg's sister was basically going on a tweeting rampage talking about how great the company Ripple is. She was also talking about some other cryptocurrencies. It's funny that when we are in, facing economic turmoil, that people are coming out of the woodworks and talking about blockchain technology and their benefits. It's kind of, prefacing what is to come. So listen to this really quick. Again, XCurrent formerly used, fiat, it's atomic swap technology, and keep listening here as we are moving towards a tokenized or digitized digital world.
The convergence that we see coming in the next phase is for banks to have an option to say, do I want to use XRP? So instead of the German bank holding Turkish lira, they could say, Akbank, are you able to accept XRP and give me Turkish lira? Here's 100 lira worth of XRP. Here's 1 million lira worth of XRP. And instantly that can be settled without having to hold balances. So
again, the problem here is that all of these global banks and almost everyday people like us, we're not familiar with the correspondent banking system. All of these banks have to hold pre-funded accounts of different types of fiat currency. So the Turkish, the Turkish lira, however you want to pronounce it. We have, the yuan, we have all of the Thai bahts, various currencies. They have to hold a bunch of these currencies and they just sit dormant in pre-funded accounts and use them when they have to. With XRP, we can reduce that capital and those capital costs of holding it, human capital cost of intervention with the systems, inflation rates, all kinds of things. And you can basically just hold, instead of 13 different currencies, you can just hold a significantly smaller portion of all of those via XRP, because XRP can simply be the bridge asset that acts for all of those. This is freeing anywhere from $5 trillion to $27 trillion in the correspondent banking network. Yes, this is a multi-trillion-dollar problem. If they decide to go towards derivatives as well, it's going over, a $1 quadrillion problem, $1 quadrillion US dollar problem. So keep listening. And this is not a joke, guys. This is probably one of the biggest immediate use cases of blockchain technology is cross-border payments. All right, mitigating risk and reducing counterparty risk. Operational efficiency, cheaper, guaranteed, etc. Like, this is literally right in front of us. When XRP finally proves this with utility and rises in price, just remember, all of this info is right in front of you.
That's the holy grail. That's the ultimate end goal that we're aiming for. But if you don't have connectivity, you can't even start. So first you get the banks connected. They do what they're doing today better. They like it. They build new services on it. Then they go, I want to do this in 100 countries, but I can't hold currencies in 100 countries. Well, guess what? You got XRP. So it's a phase strategy, but that's the way, banking works.
All right, and I know I've touched on this a lot, but I just wanted to emphasize that for all of you newcomers. Now, let's keep going. All right, almost done here, guys. Stay with me. Now, this is the part where I'm going to share my opinion for what it's worth. Keep in mind, I'll respect your differences. This is full speculation, and I'm warning you of that. Now, this is how I could see one way of this playing out. So let's just say, as we can see here, I don't know how to pronounce this. This is hydroxychloroquine, and then we got Zithromax. I'm not in the medical field, so I apologize. Just talking about this, looks like there's some type of thing to kind of keep this beer flu, this virus, at bay. We'll see how effective this is. Again, there's a case study down below with this. Christy Bruce, good news. Looks like someone has figured out how to beat it. It's a combination between these two. We will see. Now, my take on this is whether it's this or, another alternative to help, kind of prevent the, contagion from spreading or just weakening it altogether. My belief is this, that one potential conspiracy theory, and I'm saying it's a conspiracy theory because I'll only believe it when it happens, but I'm pretty certain that something along the lines will happen, is that they might say, okay, the internet, we're going to shut it down. Global markets, we've halted trading. We're going to kind of, take the time to really attack this virus head on, take care of business, do what we need to do. And hopefully we'll come up on top. And then after that also, there could be some form of reset or, maybe more debt to kind of keep us going afloat. And then, the president or of the, Trump could potentially, and I'm not political by any means, but Trump could come out on top with all of this as kind of the savior of not only the economy, but also, health as well. That's one way I could see this playing out. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that dislike this video because I actually put my actual opinion in here, but I don't care. All right, next up, again, JP Morgan, guys, to close 1,000 Chase branches. This is 20%, I believe, of all of their locations. This is going to follow. And remember, people are saying cash runs. I'm saying get cash out of the ATM, but it's super strange because now many places are not even accepting cash. I've also heard that Starbucks at some sites are not accepting cash because it can be dirty or contagious. I don't really get that because if you're going through a drive-through, you're giving, them your card too, and that's, shared around. When you're at a restaurant, which is closed, you pay with card. The waiter or waitress takes it as well. I don't really see the true argument, but there is definitely a push to go cashless. Again, with blockchain technology, if there is some type of update to our system in the future, which is absolutely coming, if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. I get how an economic reset sounds crazy, but what I can tell you is whether it's a reset or an update, it is absolutely coming. Will it be a smooth transition? That's my belief. Now, when everyone's on the blockchain, you're going to be able to, you're not going to have a choice. You're going to pay your taxes automatically. Smart contracts will make everybody pay their taxes. It'll be a method of control, but also equality. It's going to be really, really weird. I don't know how I feel about it. Personally, I'm just trying to make a little money along the way. That's how I see it. All right. Next, Julia Chatterley, one of my favorite anchors on CNN, just talking about this. This goes in hand with, the story about streaming and the internet, and this could be another narrative for their excuse to potentially, and I'm not saying a blackout, we're going to have power, don't be ridiculous, but globally, don't be surprised if the networks actually halt. Now, their excuse is this, that I'm just going to let you listen to it, and then I'll give my 2 cents. Listen up. And now this is the narrative that they're pushing. I just want you to question everything. Question what I'm saying too. I mean, try to think critically, please.
Has urged Netflix to slow streaming or risk breaking the internet, the web, under unprecedented strain as hundreds of millions of people log on from home, working from home, of course, but also streaming movies, just trying to entertain themselves.
Now, this is a stupid argument. I really respect her. I think she's very smart, but I don't think everyone at home streaming is going to break the internet, as they say. And also, they're saying more remote workers are using their VPNs at home, tunneling in, online, and it's kind of overloading the system. But guys, keep in mind, we have Ford, we have Chrysler, we have some of the biggest manufacturing plants in the world shut down entirely. I believe they use a lot more bandwidth than an individual at home. I believe they have huge things up and running and updating to the cloud and uploading. But hey, I guess, the news must be true, right? I'm just questioning it. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But I want to hear your thoughts down below. If anybody is an IT specialist, if anyone's has a good understanding of networks and actual bandwidth and true throughput, let me know down below if this is, a potential, could be potentially true or not. But basically they're going to say, okay, Netflix, Hulu, these streaming services are going to slow down. The quality will be lowered. I've also seen that YouTube will do the same thing. And then the next thing will say, okay, right now we need to put all of our bandwidth and power towards getting rid of this virus. And then that's the excuse they need to temporarily pause the web. And I don't think it would last long at all. I think that this would be brief. But it is very possible, and if I'm wrong, so be it. But I wanted to share this thought just in case.
Hadas Gold joins me now. It's understandable, Hadas. We've sort of been thinking about this, I think, for the last week. We've never seen use like this. People working from home, people watching movies from home.
People are always watching movies. People are always on their phone watching Netflix, even at work. People during March Madness are watching the NBA Finals. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, Julia, I am right now streaming live to CNN from my living room, and I'm just one person. So multiply me by perhaps hundreds of millions of people who are working from home, whose kids are also at home trying to do distance learning, or perhaps just trying to entertain themselves watching movies on streaming services. And now the EU, an EU commissioner, Thierry Breton, who's in charge of the EU internal markets, has warned services like Netflix and people in general to please switch to standard definitions. This is what we know as SD instead of high definition, because high definition takes up a lot more bandwidth than standard definition. In fact, Breton said that he has had conversations with Netflix CEO Reed Hastings yesterday. He is set to have another one with him today to try to urge pretty much these streaming services to force their customers to do SD because of the fear of the strain on the infrastructure. Now, as far as we can tell, although there is a huge increase in people obviously using the internet, using the infrastructure, there hasn't been any sort of outages or breakdowns. But the fear is that as...
Notice how they're prefacing it, priming the masses, marinating the meat. Just an analogy. I can see this happening. This is typical, psychology. If you understand that typical people use psychology, well, you best believe that the world governments do as well. It's simply not the startled people. They happen in phases. Just like the NASDAQ website released an article last night. You guys, you think I'm crazy, but in fact, I think I'm kind of rational. But we'll see what happens.
As we continue day by day, and as more and more people sign on, I'm sure lots of people are signing on for new streaming services. They're buying video games. They're doing all of these things that are putting extra weight on the system that typically...
Nothing changes. Everybody's still playing video games. I don't understand why. It's the same amount of people. All right.
Most of us would be in our offices, or the students would be in school. It's not used to this type of strain, and that's why
kids still are on their phones in school.
There is a fear that as this continues to go on, possibly for weeks, possibly for months, there needs to be some sort of change in the system so that it can continue to support all of us as we try to continue with some...
So now they're just pushing a change in the systems. Now with distributed ledger, with, quantum computing, there's a lot of things that they can do and update it. And if you don't believe that they've been messing with this technology for a long time, I don't know what to tell you. Just watch it occur. Whether it's, in a few months, I believe it's going to happen this year. It might be a really smooth transition. No one will even realize. And all of a sudden we'll have better bandwidth and throughput and everything. But I believe that we're going to have... I do believe that we do have a lot more redundancy toward networks than we realize.
Some sort of semblance of normal life, Julia.
I know. If it weren't so serious and the situation so serious, I would say it's quite exciting to look inside people's homes at these moments and just look at your setup. But yeah, no time for that. Hadas Gold, great job.
All right, guys, see? And now YouTube to restrict data usage. This is the excuse. This is the narrative. If we do get paused or you see the quality, lowering, just know we are close. If you guys think I'm completely crazy, that's fine. I'm not trying to beg anyone to believe me, but I want you to stay tuned and watch this push, all right? So with that, guys, be sure to hit that like button. Let's see where we are with XRP. We are at 16.4 cents. So we are slowly going up. Don't be surprised to see 20 cents. And then if we do follow suit, we will be approaching 30 cents once again. And then hopefully we'll be back to this fractal and then again trend sideways a while. And if it follows the fractal without any kind of economic systemic event, we'll be approaching all-time high in no time, like this year. And then $10 is well within reach if we keep following. Now, I know a lot of people, if you're following basic mathematics and usage and utility, I have, 18-year-olds telling me XRP will never be used by banks. False. It's literally used by institutions right now. That's ridiculous. And they're breaking down the math saying XRP will never pass $1. False. It already has. And there's smart people, like literally people even at Ripple, have used $300 as an example. So if you don't believe we can get to even $100 down the road, a lot of people are sitting pretty at all-time high, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is I'm holding a portion for life because we do not know the limit. Whether it's, just like Cryptopolis with 34 years of financial experience as $1,000, or Susie from Esoteric Trading in Australia, she has a huge financial background. Both of these people are much older than I, much more experienced, and they carry weight. David Schwartz, of course, $120 XRP, but then he said there's various multiplier effects. So with 100 billion in circulation, remember the true circulating supply is 3 billion. So we can do a lot of multiplier effects. And then if you get in the derivatives market, and keep in mind we have full-time engineers working on DeFi, decentralized finance, from Logos. If you're not bullish, if you don't believe that we are meant to be well above $1, just stay tuned. I'm gonna have to tell you I told you so in the future. With that, guys, I appreciate it. Be sure to share this video around, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.